人はいつかそれに名をつけた
Wait just a moment, the both of you. I have a favor to ask. Would you both allow Ruin to join your company? She always wanted to be free from the outer pole, free to explore and travel the world. Neither of you will need to be concerned for her physical welfare, as she is an automaton and will never succumb to mana shock. I can promise you both that Ruin will never hold either of you back. I know she can be of great assistance. Mr. Savitz, it wasn't. It will never be a problem of whether Ruin can be of assistance or not. So without further ado, I'd like to announce that we would like to take her along with us. Do you really mean it, Miss Selphine? Drop the miss, Ruin. And yes, I really do mean it. Your companion is a hard one to figure. In what manner of speaking? It's difficult enough, just pinpointing any one particular manner of speaking, but if I had to express it in words, I'm relieved to be leaving Ruin in capable hands, such as hers. I've been at the helm of this company for quite some time, and in that time, I've learned to discern between sincere individuals and treacherous ones. As far as my eyes can tell, Miss Selphine does not appear to be acting out of self-interest. Rather, she allows her selflessness to speak through her actions. Her genuinely curious nature serves only to emphasize that strange, yet radiant, shine of strength. Decades ago, the man who was in the preliminary steps of creating Savit's enterprise also possessed a similar radiance. I supposed my lack of it would explain my own defect. Rudo. Ritana? Did you just... Yes, Rudo? He went straight for my name. It almost feels too awkward and trivial to draw attention to, though. Take this with you. What is this exactly? It's currently under development, but this is a device which operates similarly to your common craft day, in a way that it relays information over the vast distance. After selecting a shared wavelength between two devices, it will begin sending electromagnetic pulses directly into the mana stream. Ideally, it would be best to have a message in mind prior to usage. That sounds too perfect to be true. Science sure sounds like it could be a real match for Minecraft Day one day. But Rudo, from what we ascertain from our time spent here, there's no viable means of sending messages all the way to our homeland. The mana streams in the outer pole are far too sparse, and cannot hope to carry our messages from our intended destination. In addition, a constant stream of purified mana will be required to facilitate travel over a great distance. Neither you nor Ruin can facilitate mana, since there's no practical method of outer pole inhabitants to draw out purified mana. We mitigate that issue through the use of sediment stones. We will provide the purified mana on our end, and facilitate any messages you may necessitate. I suppose you could, but purified mana is more precious than any amount of gallows a pawn proprietor could ever offer. Using sediment stones just for this sounds incredibly wasteful, both in terms of finances and resources. Personally, I don't think we could ever afford the asking price for even one class 3 stone. Wait a second. So, he's offering? I appreciate the offer very much, but if you were to expend that amount of money just to keep contact with us, wouldn't your board of directors voice an objection? Why would it matter to them? The only item I have provided you with is a prototype, purely for the sake of conducting field tests for the future production. Oh, how I hate that smug smirk of his. If there's one way of pulling wool over the eyes of the board of directors, that pretense would be thick enough. On an official stance, However, should this device prove useful, we may very well see the expansion of a network for facilitating such communication in the future. We would phase out the need for message couriers via freight around the entire outer pole. We will succeed in the all-encompassing expansion throughout the continent, a goal that both my father and Albus always strove for. Additionally, since I am entrusting you both with the baggage that the company has no interest in having around, I can guarantee that the complaints will be as non-existent as Director Growley's brains. Eloquently put. I don't believe I've heard Rudo sound this animated before. From our mind dive with Albus, I was under the impression that Rudo Savage was more cunning, for lack of a better descriptor. But I suppose he had to develop his cunning when he was actively preventing his sister from committing further atrocities. But at least for the time being. I want to be able to remain in contact with Ruin as she begins her new journey with you both. Do my eyes deceive me? I see. Whatever you say. Did I just see those cold, callous eyes actually relax for a split second?
Oh! Wait! Just wait a moment, Selphine. What's the matter? I just remembered something. I'm sorry to ask you this, but could you please wait here for a little while? I need to tell Mr. Foster something before I leave. Oh. Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Foster.
Where are you taking me? Oh, they want to make it last meeting? You need a bottle of Ziviti? You come to the perfect place, Mr. Foster. We have one bottle of that brand. To tell ya the truth, I was paid to carry this random bottle of ale some 2 years ago. No one ever ordered it, so I was thinking about tossing the damn thing. Thank the mana gods that ya showed up to order this dusty old bottle. Here ya go, Mr. Foster. There's parchment tucked behind the label? Hey, Albie. If you're reading this, then that means everything has gone according to plan. What plan? You might be asking yourself. And my good friend, there is a plan that I never made you aware of. But before we dive into all that, I wanted to get something off my chest. I'm sorry, Albus. I couldn't have told you about my grand plan, old friend. But everything I did in Eileen's memory, as her final request to me. She made me swear never to let Rudo ever learn the true meaning of loneliness, especially the kind that will come along after I'm gone. We both knew, Albie, that even after Eileen passed away, I wouldn't have much time before it was my turn. Oh, it must be Sid's letter before he died. That's why I set out to fulfill my wife's final wish in the remaining time that I had left in this world. So where should I start? I suppose we'd better take this back to before I ever met Eileen, before the company really took off, all the way back to the time when we were slaving away in those stinking coal mines. Back to the day that I found those sediment stones, when I dedicated my life to studying the magic of mana. Who would have thought that my passion would end up being the death of me, huh? I don't think I'll ever get a chance to reconcile with Rudo before I die, either, but life's short. Anyways, I remembered reading something all those years ago. There was a book about Manacrafte, which was focused on this particular kingdom in the Inner Pole. The ruling royalty of this kingdom had a hereditary trait unlike any I've ever read about before. Everything from the personal memories of the present ruler to the experiences of past rulers may be directly inherited by the successor of the following generation. They called it the Path Down Minecraft, which was entirely exclusive to the lineage of royals. Now, that got me thinking after a while. Since everyone from the outer pole are non-Minecrafties, it's impossible to replicate the Path Down Minecraft with them. That much we can establish. But after spending hundreds of hours in research and study, I made two crucial discoveries concerning the properties of mana. First, in the event that an individual dies, their purified mana does not dissipate and disperse into thin air. It may remain dormant within the cadaver for a great sum of time. Second, there is a subtype of purified mana that we may only distinguish post-mortem, which consists of that person's experiences, memories, and every emotion they experienced. I dubbed this subtype as memory mana. Interestingly enough, I read that long before humans ever harnessed mana into Minecraft, Asian civilizations, particularly the ones that had once culturally practiced cadaver preservation, may have embalmed the deceased in order for them to retain every single bit of their former life's memory mana. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is that when we recovered Ruin's corpse, I had attempted to extract every ounce of memory mana that I could in order to integrate it within a prototype automaton that I created in Ruin's image. The attempt was successful, I'm sure you've noticed, but I ran into one problem. If I brought her back as she was before, what would stop her from repeating the same tragedies? So I came up with my very own method for integrating the missing emotional component of Ruin's memory mana, by using my own emotions as a surrogate to be fully incorporated into the prototype automaton. This way, she would be free from the defect that robbed her of all emotional output. But this method wasn't without its issues. You see, unlike the conventional mana crafters from the inner pole, performing the Path Down Minecraft may not be such a stretch. But for the rest of us unlucky bastards stranded on the outer pole, we can't manifest and draw out our purified mana so easily. As a result, I drew out a lot more purified mana over the course of my final 2 years, and I know that when I reach the lowest threshold, I will have induced mana shock. That is the only scenario in which my experiment in resurrecting Ruin succeeds. I didn't have much time left anyways. Which means, my dear friend, I made a conscious decision to activate Lab 9's emergency protocol. I decided to end my life in order to become the catalyst for the Path Down Minecraft, which would be triggered by the ensuing flood of Call of Mana. All for the sake of resurrecting Ruin by integrating her memory mana into a lifeless machine. It's anybody's guess now who the automaton will take after more. Will it have its own persona, or will it inherit Ruins? I think the better question at this point would be how others will perceive its existence. Would it become a threat to many, or a savior to some? For those people for whom it causes great concern, will they make an attempt to breach the barrier and learn to accept it? Or will they denounce it even further as an object, worthy of being labeled blasphemous? Whatever the outcome, the only thing I know is that the miracle of mana made this, and much more possible. My only regret is that I won't live long enough to unravel the multitudes of mysterious remaining from mana, but the same can be said of all others who follow and share in my passion for the study. I'll never know if objects imbued with memory mana will ever be categorized as living entities, and whether or not my final work will bring about that very ethics-driven debate. On the technical spectrum, I will share with you what those documents, which I had disposed of at the time of my death, pertained to. The documentation concerning the deactivation of the onboard active emotion engine has been disposed of in order to prevent herself from disabling her emotional output. The logs pertaining to the development of the automaton chassis, all onboard components, and so on, have been disposed of in order to prevent any effort to recreate the prototype. It's all a matter of pride and principle, Albie. I'm certain you would have done the same. In conclusion, I'm afraid of the treatment that she will be subjected to. Did I make a mistake by creating her in this era, which is still very much overrun by narrow-minded imbeciles? I'll never know now, will I? But if you're reading this, then maybe my efforts weren't completely in vain. It'll mean that I fulfilled my promise to my dear darling, Eileen, because that bright boy of mine has finally accepted her as his family. That's all I got, my good friend. You know I wasn't much of a writer in life, and certainly not when I'm dead in the dirt now. Take care, Albie. P.S. Albus Foster, from the moment I met you, you've always been a dear friend and brother to me, and you always will be. Nothing will ever change that fact. We'll always be together, Albie. Words can never express the gratitude and love that I feel for you. I know that these answers will never be enough for what you always wanted, and I hope you forgive me. You'll find someone someday. Just work on your approach and stop being such an open book. Oh no, that's so sad. It's the final words to say goodbye. For Albus Foster.
Are we all ready to go? Yes, we are.
This path will take you to the nearest port, which is just north of Cadia. You'll find a ship that can ferry you to the neighboring continent.
Selphine, Retana, look at what my brother gave us. It's full of gallows.
This is quite a sum. Are you certain? It will cover your expenses for passage aboard the ship. Your remaining funds wouldn't have gotten you one ticket, let alone 3. Additionally, the continent you'll be sailing to is not governed the country of Kordan, and unlike Cadia, they do not accept the gallows there. They have their own mint. You'll find far more than just gallows in the purse I gave Ruin. My goodness, I'm at an utter loss for words. Thank you for your kind consideration. We will put it all to good use. I hope we may see each other again someday.
Me too. Okay, girls, let's get going. Thank you for everything, Rudo. Thank you, brother. Alright, we're off to our next destination. Let's go! Hooray!
Huh? What? Wait for me, you two! Jeez. You may not be seeing Ruin for quite some time. Are you certain this is what you want? Just a day earlier, I would have sentenced her to death. Ruin is free to do as she pleases with her second chance at life. I want nothing more than for her to make the most of it this time. If she does decide to return again, I would gladly welcome my little sister back with open arms. There's plenty of compassion to be found underneath that cold and callous scowl of his. Phew. I feel like we've accomplished something great in just the past 4 days of our odyssey. I think rest would do us all some good.
Retana, hurry up. We're gonna leave you behind if you don't catch up to us.
But who needs rest with cheerful, energetic girls like them to keep me company? Being around them both is a load off my mind, even though symptoms from mana shock could be manifesting at any moment. Don't wander off too far now, my lady. Ruin, stay together.
If you don't want us to wander off, then keep up with us.
Ha ha. Very well.
So, now that we're all together again, I want to say something to you both. Visceral, Selphine, Visceral, Retana, Visceral, Ruin.
Visceral.
Oh, I just can't wait to get started on our adventure together. Just traveling with you both and setting out to explore the rest of the world. It's like a dream come true. Have you been to the port we're going to now, Ruin? I haven't been there before. To tell you the truth, I've never been beyond a mana mine. The excited explorer inside me is bouncing up and down with anticipation.
Some things will never change.
Can you blame her, Ratana? She's super excited. You need to match Ruin's level of excitement. I agree with Selphine. We're going to a place that none of us has ever visited before. How can you not be excited about that? You just can't. Oh gosh, come here, Ruin. I would love it if you could call me Sally from now on. Sally? Are you sure? Are you super sure? I'm super duper sure, Ruin. We're friends now, after all. Sally. Ruin. 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 Ruin.
I hope their excitement dies down soon, or else this journey will be the death of me.
Now that we have the greetings and nicknames out of the way, let's get going to the port. We'll be out of the outer pole in no time, and then Ratana can start recovering.
You needn't concern yourself, my lady Selphine. Also, I believe there's a matter that needs to be disclosed to Ruin.
Oh, right. Matter? What matter? What's the matter?
If we're going to be traveling together, no. Since you are now our lifelong companion, I feel that it would be best to divulge our true identities to you, Ruin.
Ratana's right. I completely forgot that we hadn't told you yet. Your true identities? Yes, Ruin. I want you to hear me out on what I'm about to tell you, because it might be a bit of a shock. Both Ratana and I... Wait, Sally! What was that? That strange sound! Ratana! That sound just now!
That was the unmistakable sound of Mana Crafty being cast. I felt a surge of mana disperse from the aftershock as well. It must have required an extraordinary amount of mana. It came from this direction. Follow me, but stay behind me at all times. Well. You must be the princess of Ruxenheide.
Wait, Sally is a princess?
Fancy meeting you here, Your Majesty. You can call me Belano. And, oh my, you there, with the purple hair and crimson irises. Are you the servant that my girls were all stammering on about? Well, this is quite a surprise then. I thought you would be all shriveled up and leaning on a cane. Well, that silence just answered it for me now, doesn't it? Not only are you young and ripe, you're just a little girl. Wow, I didn't see this coming at all. Could you speak coherently?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you have the wrong person, Miss Milano.
I have the wrong person? I have the wrong person? Well, excuse me, princess. I don't remember hearing about little Miss Twintails over there, though. Don't say anything, Ruin. Don't say a single word. You have the wrong people, miss. I've known these two my entire life, and I can tell you that none of us is a princess or a servant. Is that a fact now? Well, I think I'm gonna have to give you the benefit of the doubt, because you're absolutely horrible at lying. What are you talking about? I'm not lying. Oh, you're right. I must confess, watching you desperately lie through your teeth is a real treat for me. But I suppose there is some truth to be found in your stuttering. I suppose that your friendship with these two is real, given the modest attempt by Miss Servant over there to spoil my fun by scripting your response.
Oh?
Milano walked right past me, went straight up to Ruin, and brushed her hand along her cheek.
What are you doing?
You're certainly an interesting person, aren't you? I thought something was off. The mana's real thin. This must be the outer pole, then? You're not human, aren't you? That's enough. Who do you think you are? You don't know any of us, so stop thinking that you do, and you're scaring her. Oh well, shame on me. Wherever have my manners gone? I'm very sorry, but you have the wrong people. We're in a bit of a rush, so if there's nothing else, we'll be on our way. Both of you, follow me now.
Okay. Coming?
What? Are you telling there's no more cordial exchanges to be had? That's a real shame, because I wanted to keep chatting with you all some more. I suppose I'll have to break it to you straight. I can't remember the last time that I felt such a terrifying fear crawling into my skin and up my spine, merely from the antipathy exuded by this woman. Princess Selphine Ruxenheide. My senses immediately numbed, and the blood drained from my face. Your father, King Valhalla Ruxenheide, is dead. Suddenly, I felt invigorated with rage, as if I had been injected with the dose of bloodlust. Because I personally saw to his death. State your name and allegiance before I cut you down.
Sally's father is dead?
You followed us here from Ruxenheide, did you not? What is it that you seek? Speak your piece now, before I silence you for all eternity. Oh, goody! Now you're speaking my language. Can we continue our little chat now? Answer me. How did you discover our whereabouts? How did you follow us here? All very good questions. You see, I have a special girl in my little group of mine, and she happens to be an expert in Minecraft analysis. After giving me the short and sweet version of how to follow you, I tried it out for myself, and I couldn't be happier with the results. That's impossible! What exactly did you do to follow us here? There was no way you could have accumulated the amount of mana required for the skill of casting this particular Minecraft, not within 3 days. And yet, here I stand, before your very eyes. I traveled here all the way from the third pole too, and it gets me where I actually want to go, as compared to your Minecraft, which leaves you at the mercy of the Riptide effect. Preposterous! Everything you're saying is impossible, and cannot be done. Now, how about you put your ego away for a second, and actually listen to me? Your use of the Riptide effect as a means of escape was rather ingenious. Once the phenomenon has passed, there's no way for anyone to get pursuit, right? You shut us out, locked the door, and tossed the key. I'll give you credit for prolonging the inevitable. Sadly, you have absolutely no idea who you're dealing with. I've heard enough of your nonsense. Are you trying to say that you're somehow superior to me because you used another method to find us? Do you have an inferiority complex or something? Because that's not what I was referring to at all. I'm trying to tell you that I can do anything and everything that you could never hope to do. That's the difference between you and me. Who the hell do you think you are? Everything you have claimed so far is impossible to accomplish. Do you fancy yourself a god? Maybe. That would depend on your definition of god. If you think all it takes to be a god is to be omnipotent, then I very well could be a god to you. You're crazy.
Ring Fasta. Now quell your wrath at once and stay your hand.
Oh, no way. She's turning into some kind of like personality trait.
Royal Guardian of Roxanhyde, take heed. Obey now my command, and kill her not.
This sounds nothing like Selphine's voice.
Sally? I'll say this once, Ring Fahasta, and no more. Allow not this fiend's death, nor her escape. Her body you may rend, but kill her not. No, I've much to ask this wretch, so very much.
Not now. Not now, goddammit! Okay, wow. That was some pretty surprising ending. Selphine just turned into some kind of like Yandere looking style. And her voice has been changed, as I did. Something very, very different personality trait. And I guess it's going to be to be continued for this series, so I see there's a Fault Milestone 2 side above was out from last year. I think it was somewhere 2015. But I'm going to hold on for right now. I'm going to do something else for Let's Play series. Maybe like Shovel Knight or Metal Gear Solid. Alright, so I have enjoyed this story so far. And my goodness, that was really intense story from the beginning till the mid to the near ending plot. This feels so dramatic and sad in the story about Sevet's family. That gives me a teardrop that I couldn't even resist it when I read it. But I'm glad that Ruin wants to break free and join Ritana's company to travel together. Oh, what's this? You may now access the event CGs in the Milestone 1 gallery by selecting Gallery in the title menu. Sweet! Oh, it's a picture of Ruin's family together at Ivo's Tavern. Hey, look at that! Ruin is here with Selphine and Ritana. My game is complete. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That was a really, really great adventure and storyline I have enjoyed so far. And especially you guys are enjoying it and listening to the visual novel. So I will see you guys in the next for a Let's Play or Let's Read series, and that's about it. See you guys later.